Chris, so very good to see you. We are starting with a really important question. Should you claim Social Security at 62? Claiming Social Security at 62 may sound appealing, but it, of course, comes with trade offs like reduced lifetime benefits and the Social Security earnings test if you're still working. So let's break down the pros and cons. I was surprised to learn that one-third of people claim as soon as they're eligible at 62. It's known as panic claiming. Why is that?
Well, a lot of people make emotional decisions and they may think that Social Security, they say it's going to run out of money and it doesn't run
Yeah.
out of money. It runs out of the surplus, I think in 2033 or 2034 there. And so, they want to grab it as soon as they can, especially if they've retired already. And, they may need that income to, supplement their retirement. But some people say, I better get it while the getting's good. And that's
Mhm.
not necessarily probably the right way to come at it, I would think.
Right. So let's talk that through just a little bit. I want to touch on the math, what you actually give up by claiming early. For example, claiming 62 versus full retirement age versus waiting until 70.
Sure. Yeah. So full retirement age at 67 here for most of us now. And, so get $1,000 a month, you're giving up 30% of your
Mm,
lifetime income by
yeah.
claiming it early. And, that can be a challenge to make up. Not many people wait until age 70. It's typically a married couple that would, or somebody who's going to work later. But, just look at that increase. That's a 24% increase. So, I mean, some huge differences, especially when you start factoring those out over a 10 to a 20-year retirement. And, Social Security is based around people living to roughly 80 years old. So the payoff comes in later in life, not necessarily earlier in life.
Right. Good point. All right. So now I'd like to talk through the Social Security earnings test and how it affects people who continue working after claiming early.
Yeah, a lot of confusion. It's something that we specialize here is helping people with the claiming strategies, of
Mm,
course, Aaron. And, so if you're working part-time, and collecting Social Security, and my wife's a perfect example. We pay her $22,000 a year and she is collecting her Social Security benefit. So she doesn't have any penalties. Uh,
mm.
but unfortunately, some people file like you do, like you said, that panic filing. They're taking Social Security and they made too much money. So then they start paying a penalty or they get what we call a nasty gram from Social Security and says, you owe us some money back.
Yeah. Right. And so what happens to those withheld benefits?
Yeah, so if you are subject to the penalty, once you hit age 67, then Social Security reformulates the benefit that you should be getting then. And, you still need to live to about 80 to probably get all of that back, but
Mm,
they
mhm,
don't hold it and keep it from you. They actually put it back into your calculation when you hit your full
mhm,
retirement age.
mhm. So, Kristen, what should we be considering when we're trying to decide if we should be claiming at 62 versus waiting?
Yeah, and one of the biggest decisions people are going to make in their retirement is claiming
Absolutely.
Social Security. And, so are we dealing with a married couple? Do we have one of the spouses that's going to continue to work while one is retired? So it's very common for somebody to maybe file at 62 because they retired early. The other spouse is working. So they're going to, delay their benefits. And then when they pass away, the other spouse can step into the greater of the two benefits. And then there's just a lot of things to consider. Do they have enough money to pull out of investments and delay taking Social Security to get more money later and then take less money out of their investment? So number of different factors. I have some great software that it's called Social Security Pro that we run a lot of different types of scenarios for folks and let them see it in real time. And it really helps clarify the decision and the reasons why we make that decision.
Right. And then coming back to what you were saying in the beginning, get rid of that panic claiming. When we're driven by these emotions as opposed to the math of it, it often can lead us down the wrong road. So, Chris, if somebody would like to sit down with you and determine their most financially optimal time to claim Social Security, how can they get a hold of you?
Yeah, I'd have them give Heidi a call at the office at 419-332-0532. And Heidi can set us up with a consultation. And you can also visit McIntireRetirementServices.com.
Great. Chris, thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate it.
Yep, my pleasure. Thanks, Erin.
Tune into Chris McIntire's full radio program and visit McIntireRetirementServices.com for many additional valuable resources, including other great episodes of Game Plan for Retirement with Chris McIntire. Be sure to subscribe.